Hello everyone, Tina here. I hope your day is going wonderful. Thank you so much for joining me. Well, today I am super excited to share with you a project. We're using some of the club kits from Spellbinders. These are the Stamp and Die of the Month club kit for October 2022. It's called Wonderful Christmas. The Stamp and Die comes with the pretty stamp set you see here, and then it also comes with a coordinating die set that will cut out your images and a few of the sentiments too, which makes it really nice. I'm also going to be using, we're going to pair both of these together. We're going to create two cards. We're using the embossing folder of the month called Scattered Christmas. Such a pretty embossing folder. We're going to use this on both of our cards. And so let's jump in and get started. First, we're going to do some stamping and coloring. And there is a beautiful swag in here that's a corner piece. So you can go bottom corner or top corner or combine them both to create a beautiful frame. But I'm going to be using the single poinsettia and then also this flourish here. So let's take these, get some white cardstock, and we'll first take this beautiful floral. And traditionally I stamp with black ink, but today I want to keep it a little bit warm, and I'm going to be using espresso truffle ink. It's a real pretty brown, and I'm going to stamp this on some alcohol marker friendly cardstock. You can see how pretty that image is. And then we're going to go ahead and stamp. I'm going to actually color in a couple of these poinsettias, but I'm just going to color in one on camera since they're all going to be the same. And, you know, while we're at it, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp my Noel on here, and then I have a small tag die set that I want to cut that out with. Okay. I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to do a little bit of coloring. The coloring is going to be very easy. Let me show you the markers that I'm going to be using. For coloring, I am going to, instead of listing the colors, I'm going to show them to you. These are the stack that I'm going to use. And for the leaves, I'm going to be using these. A trio, well, the W3 is a warm gray, but I wanted to add that at the very tips of my green leaves. So those are our leaves over here and over here, and then our poinsettia, and then the flowers here. We'll be using these three reds. And then for our berries, we're going to use these two reds. Okay, I think that was a lot quicker than me having to put in the color on the screen, because that takes a little bit of time. But I'm going to zoom in. I will play some music while I color, and when I am done coloring, I will get you back. Okay, coloring is all done. Now I'm going to go ahead and take the coordinating dies and we will cut out our images. And I mentioned before that I will color in and die cut out a couple more of these poinsettias. And then I might do one more of these flourishes, but I don't know how many I want to use. Let's line these up. And then for my Noel, I'm going to bring in a Spellbinders die set. This is the sorted tags. There's a lot of this little small one we're going to use, but there's a lot of small tags in here. And I'm going to go ahead and die cut this out here. And when I'm done, we are going, actually, let's zoom out and let's die cut it all at once. So we have our tag, we have our florals. I'm also going to bring in the Romantic Slimline Border die set. You've seen me probably use this before. I love that there's a pierced and a scalloped edge, but we're going to use the lacy edges for both of our cards today. So I have a piece of white cardstock. And with this one, the whiter one, I'm going to trim out upside down I want to make sure it's centered. And we're going to die cut out a portion of this white cardstock. Okay, and this measures, how wide is this? This measures 3 inches wide, and I might do a little bit of trimming, so I'm not going to tell you how long it is. So that is that, and then I'm also going to die cut this one here. Let's take some white cardstock, and we will line, this one's going to go on the bottom. And I love that you have the border that you can cut out too. So we'll just line this up. And I'm going to get this as centered as best as I can. And we're going to die cut out a pretty edge on the bottom of this. This panel is 3 1/4 inches wide, and I made sure I wanted it, I want to stamp my sentiment on here. Let me see. And I wanted to make sure that it's wide enough for my sentiment. I might trim a little bit more off, but I think it's a good width for one of my sentiments. Okay, so I have a bit of die cutting to do. I will be right back. I went ahead and finished my die cutting. You can see here. I'm kind of far away. Let's zoom in a little bit. So everything's die cut. This one is going to go facing down. I might trim a little bit off the top. And then this pretty eyelet border is going to go facing up. And then I did color in a couple more flowers and another little flourish here. And I went ahead and put some of my Spellbinders Color Essential Gems. These are the red ones, and I put them in the center of my flower. I'm going to go ahead and replace the center here with some sparkle. I'm going to use 3 of our medium gems. And then I'll take the itty bitties and fill those in on the ends. Okay, let's put these back. And now we're going to bring in our beautiful Scattered Christmas embossing folder. This is such a pretty embossing folder. Now I wanted to do partial embossing. I didn't want to do the embossing on the bottom of this, but I do want to do the rest of it. So I'm going to put it in my embossing folder at the very end. Now while I'm embossing, I'm also going to create two panels. This is a 4" by 5 1/4 panel of Portobello cardstock. This is a real pretty kind of cross between a tan and a craft. I'm going to run this through my my die cut machine, and we'll emboss this along with this panel. This panel measures 3 1/4 inches wide by 4 1/4 inches tall, and I'm going to emboss this too. And while we're embossing, I've been doing this a lot lately, and I've been loving the outcome. I'm going to take my card base, This is a standard A2 size card base, and I'm going to open it up, and I'm going to, after I'm done with this one, I'll put my card base inside of my embossing folder, and we're going to just emboss the front of our card base. So our card base has embossed detail too, so a lot of embossing. So I'm going to emboss my card front, these two panels, and this. Okay, my embossing is all done. Now for this card, this is the card that we embossed our card front. I don't know, I just love the way this looks on card bases. I just forget how, well, I don't forget, I just love embossing. I think it's just so elegant. And then we have these two. We're going to actually layer these together. I'm going to do that right now. So using my tape runner, we're going to adhere this lace piece to our embossed piece. Like so. Okay, we'll work on, and then these two are going to go off to the side. We'll work on our first card first. These flourishes are going to go with that card. Now with my Noel tag, I'm going to bring in my crocodile and then some, I would say these are like a brown or a pewter almost color. I love adding textures, and these eyelets go perfectly with these tags. So I'm going to secure that. And adding metal textures is just really nice. Okay, so our eyelet is set. And then, well, I am going to bring in something new. I loved Fun Stamper's Journey and Spellbinders twine. I always use the white. Let me show you. Okay, I always use the white and the black. I just love it, but they don't sell these no more. So I was super duper excited when Spellbinders came out with their brand new hemp cord. So you get black. You get, and the hemp cord is so nice. I don't know if you guys ever know the difference between twine and hemp cord. Hemp cord has a little bit more, it keeps its shape better. And they have white, which is not really white. I would say it's more of an ivory, especially compared to the other white one. You can see the difference. Okay, but they have the white, and they have a red, and they have a black. So I am super, I got these recently, and I thought, oh, I want to share them with you. So these are, again, hemp cord. And you can kind of, I love the weight. This is a number 10 pound, they're saying. I don't know that the difference is, but this is my favorite weight. And then it's also nice because it keeps it, the bow keeps its shape. Let me wrap this around twice, and I'm going to wrap this around where the embossing stops, basically, and I'm going to tie a bow. Actually, I'm going to tie a knot because I'm going to add my tag to this. I'm going to tie a knot off to the left here. Yes, I was super excited about the twine. And then they have some new pearls too, which are really nice. So I'm going to tie a knot, and then I will trim off some of my excess here. It's nice you could put this back for storage if you wanted to. Makes it easy. Okay, and then we're going to thread our tag through here. And then I'm going to tie a bow. Go ahead and trim the twine. I'm calling it twine, but it's hemp cord. And there is our little tag. That's our sentiment. And then I'm going to flip around my poinsettias. We're going to take some foam squares, and we're going to overlap these and create a row with them. And I love it actually when my ends overhang. I just think it adds a little bit extra detail. I'm going to go ahead and take my corner rounder, the 1/4 inch side, and round the top. And then I'm going to take my card base and I'm going to corner round the bottom. I'm going to flip over this panel, and I'm going to add some foam adhesive behind here. After my foam adhesive is on the back side, this is going to go on in the center of my card base. And then that will finish that card. I love the lacy look of this. So that is my first card. For my next card, we are going to take our embossed background. Isn't that so pretty? I'm going to go ahead and take my adhesive and add this to my card base. And the size of this again is 4 inches by 5 1/4. So it's going to leave me a little bit of a border. You know I love that. And then I'm going to stamp my sentiment. I want to play around with my placement with these first. Let's stamp this. I'm going to use my same espresso truffle ink. And I'm going to stamp this a little bit towards the left here. Wonderful. So pretty. I love the font of this. Okay, now we're going to flip these over, and I am going to add some foam squares behind here. These are going to overlap. One's going to go right side up, and then one's going to go upside down. And like so. Now I'm going to flip over this. Actually, let's take some of that twine. We're going to take our red hemp cord. Maybe we should have put red on this one. We'll keep that one soft. This one we're just going to tie a bow. Go just below the sentiment. And then I'm going to flip over this panel. You can kind of see I tucked the ends underneath each other, which is nice. But I'm going to flip this over and add some foam adhesive behind here. Add some. Then I'll take this panel, I put some tape behind here, and I'm going to place this off to the left so the top of this is just touching our Portobello cardstock. And then I'm going to bring in my Color Essential Red Gems, and we will add a little bit of bling around our florals is always nice. And then I'm going to go over my berries here and here with my glazing glue. I just bought a new one. The other one I have a little bit left over, but the top of it clogged over on me. I overused that. So let's open up a new one. Love this stuff. I think I need to take a little bit more care of my glazing glue, and I'm going to burp it when I'm finished. So I'm going to add a little bit to each one of these berries. And I think we'll go over our brown little buds or little thingy-majiggers. And then I'm going to burp this. And then I am going to be good. I'm going to try and remember to do that. If you just tap it and burp it, so where there's the air is all gone from here, it won't clog. And then it fits perfectly inside your lid. Okay, so that is card number 1. This is card number 2 with the Spellbinders Clear Stamp and Die of the Month Club Kit, and also the embossing folder of the Club Kit. Of the month club kit for October 2022. The embossing folder club kit is called Scattered Christmas, and the stamp and die of the month club kit is called Wonderful Christmas. So I hope you enjoyed my projects. I hope your Tuesday goes fabulous. Thanks for joining me, and we will see you soon.